Dude, I've seen views, but I've never like, wow. Holy cow. Wow, you guys see this. Welcome back to the channel. Dan Becker here. We're talking about 10 things, the first 10 things that you need for backpacking. And the very first thing that you need for backpacking is not a backpack. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Dan, what's the first thing you need as a backpacker? We will get to that. I will tell you the very first thing, but this is gonna be totally out of order. And since we're hiking to camp, there's gonna be some stuff that I'm gonna use on the way to camp that will also be along this whole list. So I'll tell you the first thing when we get to camp, so stick around for that because it might not be what you expect. All right, here it is, the moment you all have been waiting for. What is it? What is the first thing that you should be putting together on your list of 10 items as you're preparing for your first backpacking trip? Is going to be a shelter. You're going to want to buy or get that shelter prepared first. And the reason for that is because once you get that shelter prepared, then you can actually, secondly, figure out your sleep system, because now you know what's going to fit inside of your shelter. And then the third thing you're going to buy or get or prepare is going to be your backpack, and you're going to do it in that order because then it will fit appropriately inside of your backpack. So you never want to buy your backpack first for any type of a backcountry trip. But shelter, obviously appropriate. There's lots of different shelters. You've got tents, you got bivvies, you got hammocks, all kinds of stuff, but an appropriate shelter. Now, I will say this though, if you are planning on just sort of car camping or camping in your backyard, you're going to go out and get a cheap tent, fine. But anything beyond that, where you can't retreat to something for safety, go out and get yourself a decent tent, something that has good ratings, good quality, good resistance to weather, because you do not want to be out in a place like this in a storm and all of a sudden your cheap tent that really is no good for anything other than like your backyard rips to shreds and you're stuck in a storm. Anyway, so that's first thing. Not to scare you, but that's the first thing. All right, next. Are you sleeping in the backcountry, or are you just going to hang out in the backcountry? If you're backpacking, chances are you're probably like going out to, like, I don't know, set up camp and sleep. So you're obviously gonna need some sort of a sleep system. Grab a sleeping bag and a sleeping pad, but the thing is you want to make sure that they are properly rated for whatever you're doing. That's so important. Don't just grab any old sleeping bag and think you're going to be warm. So rule of thumb for me is whatever the temperature is going to be outside, let's say it's going to be, the low is, I don't know, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to bring a sleeping bag that's at least rated 10 degrees below that, so I don't have to think about it. I have to worry about if I'm going to be cold in the night, if the temperature drops even colder. And also a sleeping pad. You want some sort of a sleeping pad, and sleeping pads actually have ratings themselves. They're rated by what's called R value. So the higher the R value, the warmer the sleeping pad. So hopefully that helps you guys out in your choosing of your sleep system, because that's definitely one of the 10 things you're going to need for your first backpacking trip. All right, now you can finally buy, which is obviously going to be on this list, and if you didn't know it was on this list, then you don't understand backpacking, your backpack. This is another area I would never chintz out on. I would never tell you to buy some cheap backpack. Maybe if it's your first backpacking trip and you're just sort of walking in, a little bit to sort of test out even if you like the whole thing, or maybe you borrowed something. If you're committed, look at getting a backpack that is going to be comfortable on you and can carry the amount of weight that you want to carry, and also have the amount of capacity for whatever you're going to put inside of it. But now you already know your sleep system and your shelter. Everything else is most likely going to be able to fit inside of that backpack. Okay, let's just talk navigation for a second, because this is the next one. So another thing that you absolutely need if you're your first 10 things for backpacking, you're trying to pick those out, is learning how to navigate. And there's no reason to like freak out about it at all. I'll just be super honest with you. I'm probably gonna get some hate in the comments for this, but that's fine. I can count on literally like one finger how many people I've seen in the last several years that I've been out doing this, navigating with a paper map and compass. It's just something we don't see anymore. People are using GPS devices. Not only that, but they're faster, they're easier, they're much more accurate. and it's much quicker and even more reliable. So as long as you've got a reliable device, and most of our devices are pretty reliable, and as long as you've got it charged up and maybe a backup, maybe like this, I've got a GPS device here that can also tell me where I'm at, and I've got a GPS device on my phone, you're going to be fine. But we always do bring a paper map just in case. So yes, for all of you paper map people out there, we do have one. And I'm going to tell you, the navigation app that I use is called onX BACKCOUNTRY, and it is so easy to use. It's by far my favorite app to use. I actually have a coupon code there that they gave me for 20% off for an annual premium membership, and you don't want their regular membership, you want their premium membership. Links in the description below. It's like $20 or $25 for the year. Like, even if you're going one time, that's like your meal when you get done backpacking. So have something reliable like onX. So what I love about onX BACKCOUNTRY is you can see every trail that's around you. It's literally like a road map. So we were going to take this out here, this outer loop, but we found out that it's actually closed. So we were able to just get on onX right here, and now we can go down this route right here. And you can see the different colors is going to tell you if there's any type of elevation there, so you know what you're getting yourself into. And if you really want to get precise, all you do is hit this button down here, and it turns that red mark on, and I know that I've got to go back this direction where we came, because it tracked me on that blue line to get back to that trail. All right, we just stopped for a break, lunch, and I thought you'd probably, maybe, do you want to know what I brought for lunch? Oh, he's back. He's back, folks. Smart man.
Is this one of the top 10 things?
He is fried, burned. This is what that Wisconsin weather will do.
Mr. Krabs.
When you come down to Texas.
I had like 3 people up on that hike tell me to put on sunscreen.
Nice. Well, you left a bear's gut into your bag.
Oh, really? Sweet.
Hope that's not a problem.
I hope they enjoyed it.
By the way, for wondering who this guy is in my videos, that's Durston Xmid. Go check him out on YouTube.
Yeah, My Life Outdoors.
Okay, I got these, my garbage bag. Always bring a garbage bag. Several Ziploc bags, that's what I do. I got these Starkist Creations, the buffalo style chicken. These are awesome. I just put that right on a tortilla shell. Ate it right up, it was good. Those are also good if you can get like string cheese. I didn't have any string cheese. Throw that on there too. That was super good. Also peanut butter on a tortilla shell is really good. Super good. And then, oh, for dinner tonight, we're like a late night snack. I'm gonna get railed for this. Spam. This Spam, I'm not even joking. This is probably 2 years old, and it's still got another 2 years on the... Look at, can you see the expiration date? Anyway, if you wanted to know what I ate for lunch, even if you didn't, now you know.
Hey, Spam fried up in a little pan.
Spam.
That sounds good.
Spam in your Pam. All right, next on the list is some way to cook your food, some sort of a cook system. There's lots of cook systems out there. The one I just happen to have with me is a little stove that goes on top of a fuel canister just like this. And it's able to boil water in a pot like this. But there's lots of different ways to cook your food out there in the backcountry, from alcohol stoves to canister stoves. And some people actually just don't even cook their food. They just rehydrate food and eat it, which is actually pretty nasty. I don't recommend it. And if you're doing that, you should reconsider how you eat your food. But a cook kit, absolutely essential for the backcountry. And then I also, with having a good cook kit, I like to have really good food. This is from Pinnacle Foods, by the way. This is their brand new Italian sausage and zesty tomato sauce with farro pasta and Parmesan. I actually read it on the back too. You're like, wow, he memorized that? Nope. And this is the first time I've tried it, so let's see how it tastes. That is legit, dude. That's seriously good.
What did I tell you?
Yeah, look at. Can you see that? I don't think I put enough water in it. The sausage is a little crusty, but I just needed to add a little more water. But dude, this is so good. Next on 10 things that you need first before you go backpacking is a good light. I prefer a headlamp. Some people prefer flashlights, which I bring both because I'm a big nerd. But these are both reliable lights, and I like ones with red lights on them. And a red light is something that will allow you to see with night vision after you turn it off. So if you don't know what that does, then you can just go ahead and Google it. Also, I did make a video on my favorite headlamps, which I will list in the description below, that you can check that out. But a good light is something you're definitely going to need. All right, next on the list is some sort of a knife or a multi-tool. And I know what you're thinking. Is he planning on carving this cactus? No. We just thought it was a very cinematic shot and would make the video look better. But what I brought for a knife and a multi-tool, and the reason I brought a multi-tool is because we actually film while we're out, and so sometimes we need cameras to be tightened down to tripods and things like that. So I brought this small little multi-tool here, really tiny little multi-tool, very useful, but it's got a knife, scissors, all kinds of stuff. And also a pair of pliers like this is helpful in the backcountry, because if you do get like a knot tied into something, it makes it much easier to kind of get that knot out. But some sort of a knife, some sort of a multi-tool is a must in the backcountry. All right, next on the list is hopefully obvious, like it's probably one of the first things you thought of. It's a good medical kit. I just happen to have this one with me on this trip, and it's got everything that I need for just a few days backpacking. Nothing so extraordinary that I don't know how to use it. So two things. One, don't go just grab a Ziploc bag and throw a couple Band-Aids in it, because you might need more than that if something does go south to the point where you might have to wrap up a bigger injury. And don't bring more than you know how to use. So for instance, if your medical kit has a trauma kit or some sort of bigger items in it that you've never had any training on, that's kind of a waste, because you don't know how to use it. So you're actually just carrying weight out there that you don't need because you don't know how to use it. So bring the appropriate medical kit for your trip out there ahead of time. Make sure it's in your backpack. Definitely one of the 10 things you're gonna need first for your backpacking trip. All right, next on the list is footwear. I cannot stress how actually important this is, because this will actually make or break your hike. Make sure that you've got some sort of a good footwear, whether it's a shoe or a boot, but most importantly, don't go out and buy a brand new pair of shoes or boots and think that you're gonna be able to somehow hike and be okay. They've got to be broken in. So my suggestion to you would be just get a good pair of shoes that you got lying around your house, or a good pair of boots that you already know are comfortable. The only prerequisite is make sure that it's got good tread. All right, next on the list is water carrier, some way to transport water wherever you're going. We're in the desert right now, there is no water. And so we've had to bring in a ton of water. Recommended is about 1 gallon a day. And in this situation, what I've got is I've got a water filter. This will filter just general water purposes here in the US, but if you're traveling internationally, you're gonna want something a little bit better than this that can filter viruses. And then also I've got just water bottles to fill up to. So this is my dirty water. I scoop up with this, and then I filter water into this here, and then I've got clean water. Now, if this ends up failing for any reason, then I've got these here. These are just called potable aqua or potable aqua tablets. These are germicidal tablets. You just put them in water, wait a few minutes, and then it actually will purify the water. Now, it doesn't purify or take out any of the sediment, but it does make the water at least safe to drink. So obviously you're gonna need some way to filter water. So don't think you gotta like bring water always for the entire trip wherever you're going. If you're in the mountains, somewhere where there's a lot of water, you may only need just this. Okay, so apparently the South Rim, which I'm about to go check out, is epic. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Oh man. Wow. Holy cow. Dude, I've seen views, but I've never like, wow, you guys see this? Big Bend National Park, you did not disappoint. Oh, and we made it back to the vehicle, and technically there's an 11th item now that I think about it that you need for backpacking. Have water back at your vehicle. So happy to see this. All right, you guys, hopefully that was helpful. If it was, make sure you subscribe, click the like button, all those things, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Huge shout out to Onyx Backcountry for sending us to Big Bend National Park. You guys are amazing. Oh my gosh, that's hot. That's hot. That's hot.